folks, the summer weather is coming back, as in we're actually going to have a heat wave starting tomorrow. So I'll be doing some experimenting with hack job air conditioning. For tonight though, I want to just vlog about a bunch of stuff because I got a ton of stuff to do updates about, and vlogs are updates, so I don't have any AC going right now, and it is a little hot in here, so not going to do anything too intense until I can do some experimenting with hack job air conditioning. But I think the best way to close out the events of the last several days is just do some vlogs, get it over with, and move on with things. We'll even do a vlog doubleheader tonight. I don't really usually do these things, but anyways, I didn't want this to be uploaded without something else to knock it out of the #1 parking spot, because I think this will be the far inferior of the two discussions, at least in my own opinion. But we're going to be talking about opinions and some other stuff as well. The big thing I want to talk about in this discussion, though, is if you've ever been frustrated because it seems like you post a comment on a big YouTube channel, on a big YouTuber's channel, and they never respond to you, well, there's reasons why that doesn't happen. We'll get into them a little bit later on. So anyways, yeah, let's do some vlog doubleheader type whatever while everything heats up outside. It's going to be very humid tonight, so definitely some AC in the bedroom at least, but I want to get something working out here, if that's even possible. So I'm not coming home and I'm like, okay, too hot, never mind, just going to watch Netflix all night with the AC going in the bedroom. I did that last heat wave. I'd like to stop doing that if such a move is possible. Okay, so we've returned to Stoudman's video from May. Check your YouTube privilege, content ID is still broken. I wasn't expecting to talk about this again until I came home this afternoon to the guy from Jogwheel having given me a very nasty and very snooty response to woof. A very nasty and very snooty response to the vlog I did earlier, where I gave my opinion on Stoudman's opinion of the changes that YouTube made to Content ID, which was his opinion in response to what happened with Jogwheel. So as you can tell just from me saying the word opinion over and over and over again, we're not talking facts here unless our opinions can be objectively verified outside of anything we might say. You see, that's the interesting thing about opinions, is that because we're so emphatic about asserting what we believe on the internet and things like that, and with how internet arguments can get, and how people can sound off about all kinds of stuff online, you know, that used to be the common wisdom back in the 1990s, that anybody could post anything whether or not it was true. But as the internet has gone more mainstream, sadly, consumers have lost that skepticism, and it's to their detriment. I mean, how much pseudoscience do we have going around because people are posting whatever and there's nobody to check it or nobody to peer review it, and people take it seriously and things like that. It's a propagandist's greatest dream out there. And sometimes even if you try to be objective, you might mess something up, or you might casually talk about something and someone will take it as seriously as if you had written a legal discourse on it, which is completely inappropriate. The response doesn't match the content, so to speak. But in the case of what happened with Jogwheel, I came home to a very nasty response from the guy in charge of it, because he apparently thought that I was doing a video response to him instead of Stoudman. Wrong. Oh, you didn't let me know about your response? This is the kind of crap that I expect from trolls. The big paragraph, essay, blah blah blah, just come on. Which lets me know that something is dreadfully, dreadfully wrong at Jogwheel, that the leadership is making such basic PR mistakes like this. So in light of this, I will not be watching their content anymore. I won't go back and watch Microwave again, and I'm sure that some people who are annoyed by this too may follow suit. But I think what this can serve as is a nice example of why these big channels don't seem to interact with people much in the comments, because many times it's like walking on eggshells in order to do so. So, fortunately, Stoudman apparently hasn't responded to the big essay that is now in his comments section, but the tone is the same and very much worse. And seriously, we're small, all of us, we're small channels. Why on earth were we even worth any kind of response from a channel with nearly 1 million subscribers? We're just some, folks just doing this for fun, expressing our opinions, but we get these ginormous discourses in the comments sections, and things like that. Has this guy ever heard of opinions before? Why is he so thin-skinned with his channel, with his gigantic channel with nearly 1 million subs, that he had to feel the need to do something like this? Why? What were the likely outcomes of this? And what's going to happen? More negative stuff? That'll give me even less of a reason to ever watch his content again. This, folks, is why the big channels, if they seem like they're blowing you off, it's not that they're blowing you off, it's that they don't want to risk losing you. Because something that the radio shock jocks have a blast with, as well as people doing drama stuff on the internet and sites like this, these people, one of the things they understand is that an antagonistic audience is still an audience. There's people out there doing drama videos or videos to stir up the pot every single time, because there's people out there that can get themselves an audience by making people mad as much as possible. Shoot, even Rush Limbaugh's talked about it. I saw a video on here a long time ago. From a long time ago, I should say. Let's just say Limbaugh didn't have any gray hair, so it was probably 80s something. How old's that guy these days? But anyways, this was him on some TV show. It was a clip. I'm guessing it wasn't supposed to be uploaded to YouTube, but we know how that nonsense works. YouTube can be the world's VCR sometimes. But here's a clip where Rush Limbaugh talks about radio shock jocks out there deliberately trying to get you to yell at your radio because that counts as you listening. Woof, woof. I think Wimpy Dog's actually barking at some stuff again. Yeah, whatever. You'll hear the dog barking. For whatever reason, that dog has stopped whimpering so much and is now actually barking for a change. Whatever. So, anyways. So yeah, we're just some random folks saying opinions. I mean, what damage exactly could we possibly do to this guy's channel? I mean, we saw what happened with the Fine Brothers. They made people furious. It went viral. And they lost subscribers after subscribers after subscribers. I predicted, though, that the inertia of the big channels constantly gaining subs would turn them positive again. And that's exactly, once they backed off from the React World thing that they were doing, and they laid low for a bit, time did heal all wounds. I went to their Social Blade in a month or so later. I went to their Social Blade, and these guys, they were gaining subs again, despite all that gigantic betrayal of trust and the crap they were pulling going so viral and so many people chiming in on it and them losing subs for days and even weeks on end. So they were just losing people. They were losing subs all over the place, but time healed all wounds because, one of the problems with the internet, and it's the same problem that the American voting bloc has, and we're going to see this in the election coming up. The largest groups of people have the least hardened opinions on things. Unfortunately for anybody with an axe to grind, most people are in the middle. They're moderates. They don't care, or they just follow along or something like that. And that annoys enthusiasts no matter what they may be saying. But that annoys enthusiasts no matter what they may be saying. But wow, that dog is really getting annoying. He never used to bark before either. Must be a bad situation for him or something like that. Woof, woof. Dog used to whimper all the time. Now he actually barks. I don't know. Maybe somebody's blasting something out of a tweeter that only dogs can hear or something like that. Or maybe he's barking at me. I don't know. Hey, that house is making noise when it used to not make noise. Woof! But that's the thing, the majority of people that would casually watch a video because it's getting passed around on Facebook and things like that, they're not going to care about the whole React World thing. They're not going to care about content ID nonsense. They're not going to care about copyright nonsense. They're just plain not going to care. So they just want to see the funny video and go on with their day. We're going to see the exact same thing in the election. There's going to be people voting for a U.S. president this November because they like the color of their tie, unless it's Hillary with her pantsuit. Maybe they like the color of her pantsuit or something. They think somebody's nice, they like somebody, or reasons that have zilch to do with the issues, and their vote is going to count just as much as the vote of someone who studies politics 24/7. It's one of those shortcomings of democracy, although democracy, for the most part, has been a force for good in the world versus dictatorship, absolutist monarchy, all kinds of crap that's brought all kinds of nonsense throughout history and people being harassed and persecuted and stuff like that. But democracy does have its drawbacks. And that's why constitutional republics usually hit the middle ground between a direct democracy and more, the government does everything and you can't do a thing about it. The question is where that balance lies. And then there's the technical side of it. So, for example, the Blu-ray discussions. How can people still be buying DVDs and upscaling them when they can just get Blu-ray and get full HD? Because mainstream audience after mainstream audience after mainstream audience just wants to see the content. They just want to experience the content. The quality, maybe they'll do something with it later, or maybe they have an unoptimized setup, like they're too far from their TV, but they just want to see the content. And so how does this apply to what happened with Jogwheel and PR? Well, here's the thing here. Anybody who would have an axe to grind, folks like myself who would say something about Jogwheel or Stoudman or anybody and have it actually do something significant, we're few and far between. I personally don't even think I could make a dent in this guy's subscriber base because he probably has a lot of casual folks that really don't care about YouTube drama. They just want to see whatever silly goofball video. And the same thing with these folks like these BuzzFeed and these other big channels that make videos about everything under the sun and just churn them out with their little Web 2.0 factory. A holdover from the early days of corporate YouTube channels where some organization wanted to find some way to manufacture a viral video, as if viral videos, were something besides dumb luck, something became popular. But yeah, this response was completely unnecessary, and it's basically turned me away from ever watching their content ever again. I'm not, or even publicizing them. And this is why this tells me something's dreadfully wrong, because other big channels understand this very simple principle and they act on it all the time. And even channels like Review Tech USA. I mean, I've posted comments calling him out multiple times and never gotten a response. I don't know if he has me blocked, but it may also be the case that, okay, I watched his video, and even if I don't like what he has to say, I at least let him say it and listen to what he had to say, even if my reaction was very adverse. So, but it doesn't matter. He still got the views, he still got the watch time, and that's what YouTube's all about, views and watch time. So I really don't get why this guy's on such a warpath. Does he have anything whatsoever to fear from little folks like us? So, I'm very disappointed. You'd think that the guy would use a little bit more tact instead of reinforcing what we already said, that he had a bit of an ego problem in his original video. And now, egotistical comments. Oh, and by the way, it is far better for someone with a big video channel to make a video response, because you can see, for example, that I'm being emotional, or haha, I'm being sarcastic, or being just plain goofy with body language and other stuff in these videos. Also the way I speak something, yeah, I had a lot of fun doing that, that sucked. Things like that. There's a lot of non, communication beyond what I'm actually saying, the how I say it as opposed to what I'm saying, available through this as opposed to text on the internet, historically so terrible at transmitting things like sarcasm, emotion, etc., that we had to come up with emoticons to try and counteract some of that. That's something I'm trying to explain to some of the folks that I work with who wonder why I use smileys so much in my emails when I'm saying something, when I'm trying to be friendly to others. Because number one, the smiley in Calibri in Microsoft Office looks cute and adorable. So we have enough stressful stuff. Might as well throw in something happy to brighten people's day with just 3 keystrokes, or 2 if you want to do the colon parentheses thing for that. But I'm from the AOL Instant Messenger generation, so I do colon hyphen, the parentheses. So, but yeah, this is PR gaffe after PR gaffe after PR gaffe, and starting fights with someone, starting an even bigger fight with someone like Stoudman. What does this guy think the end result is going to be? Especially when this response is significantly different, of course. You don't see big channels doing stuff like this. Why? Because they get how this works. It's... Either way, that would be why big YouTube channels don't respond to you, because so many times it's more harm than good for them to do so. It's so many times it's better for them to look like wimps than to potentially lose you as a viewer because they offend you and stuff like that. Myself, I probably could have a bigger audience if I was like that and get more views and everything, but I've decided to be a little bit more personable with this sort of thing and actually treat folks watching the videos like folks coming over my house. Would I want someone to randomly show up and try to sell me something like these spammers do? Hey, you can make $25 an hour working from home. No, please, no thanks, get out. I asked somebody the other day trying to get me to change electrical providers. Nonsense. Who does door-to-door sales anymore? What decade do they think that this is? Yeah, it's almost as bad as cold. Well, maybe they're reverting back to old methods because, oh, telemarketing ain't what it used to be. Whatever. Neither is spam, for that matter. I don't think I've bought one thing from an email advertisement in my entire life. An optical mouse once in college. Right. So that's the thing. So, I don't know what Stoudman's going to do in response to this, whether it's going to be another video or something like that. Let me check the guy's channel. Has he got a video response? I'm subscribed to him, so I shouldn't get some auto-playing thing of blah blah blah. Oh, look, a book sale thing. Videos, etc., etc. Amazon, oh yes, he's back to his video, movie pickups and things like that. So he's back to his more AV type content and stuff along those lines. Either or. I had some internet issues last night where my download speed dropped to 100k per second. Okay, Frontier, who forgot to feed the hamsters? Fortunately, everything's back to normal now. But so, yeah, I don't know what's wrong at Jogwheel, but I think what's wrong with Jogwheel necessitates me basically never, in any way, shape, or form, publicizing their content ever again. Maybe we're about to see something big happen on that channel, but at this point, I'd much rather be having fun with the stuff that I upload, like tinkering with speakers, tinkering with computers, tinkering with the fat bike, tinkering with appliances, whatever, rather than getting involved in some comment war. And quite frankly, any channel that would spend the time to type a giant essay in the comments that can be deleted with just one mouse click, yeah, something's definitely wrong there. It's really too bad. I expected better from somebody in charge of a channel that big, but this is where it ends. This is where we go our separate ways. I'll have nothing more to do with that entire establishment. I don't care if they make another series that's as good as Microwave was. Plus, there's plenty of fish in the sea. There's plenty of stuff I could be watching on YouTube. And indeed, I've got some stuff in the watch later list to actually watch. And then, there's Netflix. See how this works? See how getting snooty with someone can so easily turn them away, just like that? It's because there's so much else to watch out there, on YouTube and otherwise. So, I know this is a vlog, but I hope this can be useful to someone when they wonder, how come big channels never seem to respond to you? Because in many times it's better that they don't. It's too risky for them to do so. Because otherwise you get a gaffe like this that causes results like this. And again, it doesn't even matter if you're right. If you want to argue with someone on the internet, they'll respond based on what they perceive as truth. Because people act on perception. Well, it's perception is reality. Again, I hate to sound like a propagandist from some military dictatorship or something, but that's the way people operate. It doesn't matter what's objectively true outside of them. They act on what they subjectively think is true from the inside out. It's a thing that we as human beings do all the time. That's where dogma and art and politics and other stuff comes from. Many elements of religion as well. But that's just the way life works. If you're going to work with large amounts of people, you have to take that into account. I don't know what happened here, but this is the end of me talking about it. So, I just hope that we can part ways amicably, and that nothing further comes of this, because that was just a response to Stoudman in the first place. If the Jogwheel guy wants to continue this nonsense, then he's making way too big of a deal out of me responding to Stoudman with my opinion after Stoudman gave his opinion. Well, we'll see what happens. Hope this can be useful to somebody. This is MultimediaJay, signing off. Thanks for stopping by.